more, let's speak to Philip Sherwell, the Asia editor for the Sunday Times. Philip, another bloody day this Sunday after Saturday, which was already one of the deadliest days yet.
Yes, we're getting reports in from at least two locations in Myanmar where there are more deaths today. One township in Yangon where we're hearing 3 people have been killed. Another city in the country called Bago. So this is only early afternoon. The rhythm of these things would suggest that by later in the day we'll be hearing about yet more casualties. People are out there on the streets again. The military is trying to disperse them again. Yesterday was a very symbolic day. It was actually the anniversary of a killing of a student in 1988, which led to the first big uprising against the military dictatorship in those days, which brought Aung San Suu Kyi, who is the leader of the National League for Democracy, currently under house arrest, brought her to prominence as a leader of the protest movement then. So emotions were already high. Today, as I say, we're seeing further violence. The state media has decried the protests as criminal. It is called the individuals criminals. It's implied that they're the ones breaking the law by being out there. The military junta is saying it's merely trying to restore order and on the streets. But the other element to this is that the strikes are continuing. The civil disobedience movement. The ports are barely working. Most banks are closed, so there's very little cash circulating. Prices in the market are starting to soar because of shortage of food. The mission here is to make the country ungovernable. It's to the opposition acknowledge that there is short-term pain here for people, but they believe that if they can paralyze the economy and try and sort of continue this action of strikes and civil disobedience, that's their greatest hope for thwarting this military coup and the military rulers.
Yeah, and we also heard from the acting leader of Myanmar's parallel civilian government. He was saying that as the toll rises, the people should still find ways to defend themselves. What was the significance of his statement?
Yes, so he talked about the nation facing its darkest moment, but he also said, that we're before the moment of dawn. He talked about the need for revolution against this coup. The significance here is that, as well as what you're seeing on the streets, and as the elected MPs who were overthrown on February the 1st. They were due to be sitting for the first day of the new parliament after the elections in November, which the National League for Democracy won overwhelmingly, but which the military claims was the product of voter fraud. So a bunch of these MPs have established this parallel government. They've named ministers. Those are so far, it's symbolic, but it's also very important because their mission is to try and fight against any acceptance by the international community that the military are the men in these positions of power and hence are actually recognized. So by issuing statements, by appearing on video for the first time, previously we've only had written statements. This time round, the head of this parallel government appeared on a Facebook video that has been widely viewed. They're just trying to sort of put out there that, hold on. Don't just accept this, the military as being the representatives because they are in power currently by dint of having staged a coup. They're not legitimate. And we, the opposition, be it in the form of protests on the streets, be it in the form of civil disobedience, or be it in the form of political opposition, we're still very much out here fighting. The junta is quite unnerved by these people. They've said all their acts are acts of treason. And tomorrow we will see another court hearing in the case of Aung San Suu Kyi herself. She'll probably appear by video as she has in the past. No one has actually seen her since the coup. The military is bringing a series of charges against her, and we may see fresh charges tomorrow alleging fraud and corruption as they attempt to rule her out of a political future. So it's very important that MPs elected to her party, for her party, are trying to put out their voice and their narrative first and sort of say, we are still here and we are the elected representatives of the people.
All right. Thank you very much, Philip. Philip Sherwell from the Sunday Times.